I'll be doing Grand
С-
Prix.
Чекпоинт
Grand Prix
пройден.
is going through all three of
Наконец-то у нас
these,
начинается F-Zero.
and I'll be doing them on the hardest difficulty in the game, Master Mode, which has,
Скажите,
well, you'll
пожалуйста,
see the
меня как
difficulty
слышно?
once we show.
Если сделать
And
погромче,
the
потише.
vehicle I'll be using is called the Fire Stingray. It is the only good vehicle in this game, so
Благодарю.
that'll be it's not like 99, like which has balance. So this is completely unfair, unbalanced. So one vehicle, that's it. So I'm here with my commentator, Ted Bear. You want to introduce yourself?
My tag is Ted Bear. I've been playing this game for a while, and yeah, it's pretty cool, and we're gonna show it off.
All right, let me get to the menu. So I'll give a countdown
Так,
in
F-Zero, Гран-при.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Так, ну, в принципе, спида начинается с выбора машины. Выбор машины у нас всегда выбирается последний автомобиль под названием Fire Stingray, потому что он развивает максимальную скорость в этой игре. Это единственный автомобиль, который может поддерживать скорость 478 км в час. И все бы... по всем остальным параметрам он, конечно, чуточку уступает, но за счет некоторых техник мы будем исправлять это недоразумение. Главная проблема данного автомобиля — это то, что у него очень маленькая акселерация, но пачкой техник со страшными именами, такими как лининг и прочее, мы лечим эти проблемы и поворачиваем, не теряя сильно скорость. Кто не знает, F-Zero — это серия аркадных гонок. Вы можете, кстати, сейчас в нее, собственно, поиграть, потому что Nintendo выпустила классическая, так сказать, для себя уже версия, так называемую F-Zero 99. Вроде она все еще активна. Собственно, гонки. У вас есть местная нитро, которая называется бустерами, в данной части называется часет. Или Сиджет, вот Сиджет. И, собственно, мы просто будем ехать насквозь все Гран-при по самым оптимальным маршрутам, и изредка делается не самые очевидные шорткаты по игре. Ну, первая гонка проходит, как и любая другая, достаточно быстро. Последний круг никому не оставляем ни единого шанса. 500 км в час для большинства противников скорость абсолютно недостижимая.
Even though there's not a lot of technical execution, there's a lot of fundamental execution. And actually right here, he's going to slow down. He's going to get second place.
Yeah, I'm just bad.
Yeah, terrible. That's actually the optimal thing to do when you're doing a full cup run. When you finish a race, there's an animation that plays depending on your placement that you're in, and the first place animation is much longer than second or third place.
Собственно, объясняю, что мы целенаправленно притормозили, потому что по окончании гонки идет анимация в зависимости от того, какое место вы заняли. И первое место анимация идет гораздо лучше, чем вторая, поэтому мы очень часто будем заканчивать гонки именно что на втором месте.
It's really rough to estimate, and that's actually why Master Mode was chose.
Зачем выбирать тогда другие машины? В спидране незачем. Мы всегда будем выбирать именно эту машину. Просто потому, что она самая быстрая. А при казуальной игре вы можете выбрать другую, потому что у этой отвратительная акселерация, она очень плохо разгоняется, она очень плохо поворачивает. Но именно что в игре столько фундаментальных техник, что, грубо говоря, весь спидран посвящен тому, как нивелировать этот недостаток у автомобиля. Очень важно делать срезы на серых зонах гонки, с использованием нитробуста, так как это позволяет нам, соответственно, срезать кусок трассы
They look like snails. We call them snails in the community. And
без
then
потери
there's
скорости.
also the flashing cars, which if you crash into, they will explode on contact. So definitely don't want to hit them.
Yep. Yeah, it's like right now, you can see the frequency starts to go up as the laps start to go by. Lap 3 is when it just becomes noticeable. We'll explain a little bit about S-Jet. Whenever I'm using S-Jet, I'm able to, like, you can see my speed goes up, but I can also cut through this little rail on the inside because
Собственно,
it just
можешь
costs
замечать,
you
что
energy,
мы тут
but that
везде,
little
где можно срезать
boundary on the
циркул, мы угол
inside, that black
срезаем.
boundary, that's an actual wall.
Тут
So usually you want to cut
не очень
rails as you use
очевидно,
S-Jet
но
because health
ранее
is not
использовать
tied
такую стратегию, как
to
лининг,
your,
где он
like,
кнопку
anything here.
акселерации
So
жмет
you'll still maintain
крайне
your
быстро
speed,
на
but just use your
поворотах,
machine energy.
чтобы
Yeah, and like
вписываться в них, не теряя
Fire
скорость.
Stingray is also very durable.
Заканчиваем гонку вторым, потому что,
And this
опять
is
же,
like one of the longest courses
анимация
in the
первое
game.
место слишком долгая.
It is. I want to say it's third or fourth.
А важная
It's up there.
техника, собственно, тоже для
So this is
спидрана.
where like some of the
При старте
strategies I
мы
do is like
слегка тормозим,
really
чтобы
hard to pull off
наши
constantly,
противники
so I have to
нам
kinda
поддали ускорение,
do some
влетев нам
slightly slower. Like usually you
в
can try and take the inside there, but it's
заднюю
super
часть
risky,
автомобиля.
so I just go on the outside.
И
But
таким
other than that,
образом
like if you just look at my speed
мы
up there,
могли
like
получить
from the start of the
стартовую
lap, one
скорость
bump, I'm still
и
accelerating.
не
Like this is a
молиться на
long,
нашу очень медленную
long,
акселерацию.
tedious process of getting up to 478. Because when I'm not at 478, my vehicle's grip is like, it's still strong. It actually has a stronger cornering radius, but it's also like kind of loose. So once I hit 478, I'm actually breaking the grip a little bit so I can utilize that stronger strength of cornering. And I believe we call that
Аккуратное
call it blast
врезание
yeah, blast
для
turning.
сохранения
I'm not sure
скорости.
if we dubbed that or if like Nintendo dubbed it in whenever they released maximum velocity. But that's like the key mechanic to like go fast in this game with this vehicle, because otherwise you're not really good at cornering with this vehicle. It's basically a tank.
Yeah. And another thing to note is that the more you blast turn, the more tiny minuscule amount of speed you lose, which normally isn't the biggest of deals, but because this game is, at this point, it's so old and it's very well optimized that you want to take turns with as little blast turns as possible, because less blast turns equals more overall speed.
Yes. Another technique you might have been seeing me doing is called brake. I think it's called brake tap.
Tapping.
Yeah, it's like one of the most recent techniques discovered in this game. I think it was back in like 2011. But all it is taking advantage of the fact that like this vehicle has crazy good speed retention, and it actually like has a long oscillation period whenever you use S-Jet. So by braking a little at like, I think it's like 528.
Yeah, you press the brake very slightly, and your machine is going to stay in the 500s range for the speed for a few frames longer.
Объясняет, как работает брейкинг. Дело в том, что если аккуратно нажимать на тормоза, то машина почему-то при превышении своей максимальной скорости теряет скорость чуть медленнее, чем положено. То есть в некоторых участках мы разгоняемся до 530 км в час, когда максимально 478. И слегка пожимая тормоза, игра каким-то образом нам сохраняет самую малость скорость в том формате, что мы теряем скорость до 678 чуточку медленнее. Собственно, вот опять мы стартуем с того, что получаем два привета от наших оппонентов. И так будет проходить, в принципе, весь ран. Мы будем последовательно ехать, разгоняться, сокращать дистанцию и отдавать первое место противнику, кроме последней гонки. Данный трек, кстати, достаточно короткий.
So whether I hold the accelerator in or not, as long as I'm above 478, the speed loss is consistent. And you can also just mess around too, because this is a very straightforward course.
Yeah, it's just an oval.
Yep. But also, with all that speed comes a lot more risk. So even though this is like one of the most basic tracks in the game, if a vehicle, like speaking of this, you know, like when a vehicle shows up,
Thankfully, it wasn't too bad.
yeah, like when they basically show up in the most inopportune moments, I have to
Ой,
somehow try and
неудачная
It's
коллизия
all
со
reactionary
стеной.
trying to dodge them.
Теряем
The
пару
AI
секунд.
bumper cars, they do
Да,
spawn
эта игра
randomly,
очень
but
старая.
it
В
is a
старых
legitimate skill to
спидранах
dodge them. It's just very
вы часто
hard
видите,
if you're on
что
master mode.
yeah, it's
противостояние
basically
за
threatening
выигрыш
me
идут
to like
уже
here,
за
I want to take the
миллисекунды.
inside, but he took that
И
away from me.
вот эта вот
Like,
неудачная
if I try to get a
коллизия
little too
не
greedy,
то,
try to
что
shoot
мы
that
хотели
gap,
бы
I
видеть
hit him, I get
в
passed
ране,
up by the
но,
other AI.
скажу
And even though
так,
that's usually
чашечки
good for the end of the track,
раннера,
during the course,
они очень
it's
хорошо
usually a lot more.
обезопасены.
It's worse to try and catch up to the vehicles in front of you, because that's usually where mistakes happen. Like here, I'm gonna have to go outside, you know, just to avoid that. And this is one of the few. Okay, that's cool.
Ooh,
So
but we'll still get it.
yeah, I couldn't do anything about that. Like, you can't really finish second place on this track consistently. Your only hope is to slam into the back of a brown vehicle.
В этом треке очень
here's
сложно
Silence.
забрать
Silence
второе
has one
место,
of the most infamous turns in the whole game. It's a really,
потому
really
что
tough chicane. And the optimal
предыдущие
thing
места
is
имеют
to
дурную привычку
ride the
почему-то
rail
кататься
and
по
try to
этому
cut.
треку особо
But Z-Wing
медленно,
is probably just
что
gonna
получается так,
crash
что
into the wall
даже
head on and let
иногда
the bounce take him wherever.
выгоднее
yeah.
закончить первым, потому что анимация будет
It's way
гораздо
too
быстрее,
hard for
чем
me to
остальные
perform
доедут.
consistently. So the best thing to do is build up
И вот,
speed
собственно, начинаются
and
треки с
Slam your head into the wall.
yep. Because the optimal way to get through that carries like
джамп-панелями,
20 more
которые,
kilometers,
собственно,
but
подбрасывают
I'm not
нашу машину в
consistent at it.
воздух,
So at least doing that
позволяя
gets me
перепрыгивать
to my
некоторые
478
дистанции.
threshold by this boost up here.
С их помощью
Jump play
можно
RUSC.
делать
Another thing we
очень
may
смешные
forgot to
шорткаты. Я
mention
надеюсь,
about the
раннер
jump
нам
plates
некоторые
is that they
покажет.
add 40 kilometers to your speed. So when you're below your max speed, it's usually almost always worth it to go out of your way to hit it. Another thing is when I'm landing from jumps, I'm holding down in. It makes me connect to the track immediately, and it also preserves my speed. Because otherwise, I would bounce and lose like 80
Да,
kilometers or something
ваша
crazy.
техника по рану при
So
приземлении после
there's a lot of
вот этой
just a
вот
lot of tech that
прыжковой панели
allows this
очень
sting
важно
ray to
нажать
just
кнопку низ,
smoothly
чтобы
go through
сразу
a course. Like
приземлиться и не
it's
потерять
still
после
taking
этого
corners really
после
tight,
приземления скорость.
but it's high, super high risk, super high reward. Okay, so there's like I said, there's 3 leagues in this game. This is actually the last of Night League. Once I do
Yes.
this, there's like a cutscene that happens to just say that you did a good job. After that, I'll start going to the Queen League next, and you'll start seeing
Раннер
a
объясняет, что в игре
noticeable
всего 3 лиги.
like
Мы играем на
upcharge in
последней.
Uptick in
difficulty.
difficulty,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it's
По ее
massive.
успешному
And then
прохождению
from
нам
Queen to
дадут
King is even further.
Yeah.
катсцену,
Also
где
to
скажут,
note,
что мы
aside
проделали
from Death in
хорошую
One,
работу,
you
мы
don't want to
молодцы,
finish
мы
in second
красавцы.
place on any of the last courses because there's no need to since it's the end.
Yeah.
So Silence, Whiteland 2, and Firefield.
Yep.
Dodge.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's okay.
All right, you still have your S jet.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm at the boost point anyway, so that was like nothing.
There's a part on the track where you almost always want to use your S jet, and it's right after the chicane on Silence.
So that's Night League down.
Yep, and it's gonna play. We're gonna watch the Stingray drive and pilot, and it's gonna recap all of our
It takes
races
like
so far.
yeah, it takes like 35 to 40 seconds to get through this, roughly.
We can get some donations, Red, I think, as we
Мы
wait.
опять, к сожалению, заканчиваем первым.
I have $5
Увы.
from Fibat, who says the F-Zero community is always a
Раннер
great and
честно
supportive
пытался, у него
community
не
that wants
получилось
anybody to improve
в
and
этот
climb.
раз закончить
Z-Wing
вторым.
pushed me to achieve records I never thought I could do, but before I tried, and I still can't thank him enough.
Thank you, Fibat.
Love Fi.
Yeah, he took one of my precious GX records a long time ago, and I never got it back.
He's also tied me on the leaderboard for this game.
Yep. Thanks, Fibat.
We have $50 from M the Marvelous, who says
Сегодня
F-Zero
стоять
stands for $50 donations, right?
конец одной из лиг.
It could.
All right. Well, next up is Queen League. So once I get past this screen, I'll just go straight
Да,
to
это,
it. You know, no
это
questions
конец
about
лиги.
it. What's going on?
Ввел вас дезинформацию.
Oops.
Мы
We might have to restart. Sorry.
Я сбился со счета. Это последняя гонка в данной лиге.
Yeah, so at the end of Master League, a
Все,
little
первое место у
cutscene
нас было
plays. It's like,
запланировано.
oh, you are the master of F-Zero, good
Теперь мы идем на
job.
следующую лигу.
Fortunately, we didn't skip it.
Выбираем опять же
Yeah,
ту же машину.
it just happens whenever you press the accept button around the same time that like the video shows up.
И
So it's a
идем
little,
дальше
just a little funny thing. You just lose
покорять
6 seconds.
просторы гоночные.
But yep, oh well.
This is Mute City 2. Now, because this game was a launch title for the Super Nintendo, they did not really know how to preserve space and compress a lot of things, at least I believe. So there are quite a few tracks in this game that are just remixes or variations of previous courses. So this is Mute City 2. It's practically the same as Mute City 1. The only difference is it's a different color palette. As you can see, it's kind of in like sunset instead of.
Как вы могли заметить, мы уже этот трек где-то видели, и вы будете правы. Так как эта игра выходила на SNES чуть ли не на старте выхода консоли, Nintendo, в принципе, тогда еще не особо понимала, и у нее не то, чтобы было много времени, чтобы заморочиться по количеству треков, и, в принципе, она неплохо не до конца разобралась, как правильно утилизировать свое пространство. Поэтому некоторые треки просто являются копией предыдущих с другой цветовой палитрой. Собственно, этот трек мы уже проходили, просто тогда он был более зеленым. Ну, еще здесь добавились вот эти вот панели для прыжков. В остальном мы просто повторяем тот же путь.
And also at this point, like you'll start seeing the AI, like it's a lot more, like not as much, but it's definitely a increase in terms of like viciousness.
You'll definitely notice it as the league goes on.
Yep. And Queen League also introduces a lot of, we'll say more tricks get added to this showcase. Like Night League was your introductory, like, you know, nothing too special, not too much air tech, just a flat race and easy lines. But that kind of changes.
Простые сокращения пути.
Like starting now.
Простой трек, самое то, чтобы начать второй гран-при. Тормозим и забираем второе место.
And now we got Port Town 1. This is actually very interesting.
The shortest course in the game, I believe.
It is the shortest course in the game. It's shorter than the oval.
Если у вас возник вопрос, сколько мы времени сохраняем, не занимая первые места, за весь ран ответ несколько секунд.
And this is where the Stingray can falter because, as you probably are noticing in the top right, his speed is climbing up very slowly. And you might have to change the jump strategy.
No, I should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm at 450. Well, yeah, I am gonna have to.
Собственно, следующий трек довольно контактный. Как вы можете заметить, здесь пространства для маневра не так много. Но, благо, оно нам не особо надо. И вот как первый скип через джамп-панель. Мы перескочили буквально через половину трека, потеряв кусок скорости, но это того стоило. И еще раз.
Basically, as you land, because as soon as the UFO releases you, you are immediately at top speed.
Wow, so close.
That was cutting it very close.
Yeah. So this is also, it's a really small course. Oh, my.
This guy.
No, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very small course, and that also means that it's very crowded with these
продолжаем сокращать дистанцию. Таким образом, на протяжении всего трека.
Showing up in places I do not want to see them.
We got the exploding one right there.
Yep. So I'm probably going to get bumped here.
Yep.
At least that's my aim.
That's a good thing. Yep. About at least the rubber
Получаем
if you do slow down and you do manage to
дополнительное ускорение от бота, получив удар в заднюю часть автомобиля.
And you just have it so that when your boost stops, you just leak a little bit so that you get right back up to your top speed.
Берем второе место.
So this is probably the first course in the run that like I'm actually worried about.
Yeah. So Red Canyon
Так,
1,
первый
it's a pretty simple
трек,
course, but there is a section that
о
has
котором
three jump
ранее
plates.
переживает.
You can do quite a bit with them. The optimal strategy
Этот
is to land on one of
трек
the jump
очень
plates and use
часто
your momentum
любит
in the air to land on the other one, and then land on the third one. But on the third one, you want to hit the
показывать
back half of
неожиданности.
the jump plate. Because what that's going to do, as you can see,
Тут
it's going to give
очень
them the full jump, and you
легко
can cut that
ошибиться
corner right
на
there.
вот этом
And
цикле
it's actually,
прыжков.
it's pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, I
Благо,
have very little clearance on that. I have to land at least on the half.
первый
back
раз
half of that
получилось
plate.
хорошо, осталось
Because
повторить
if you
еще
land on the
несколько раз.
full, front half,
It's still not enough.
А
yeah,
так,
it's
да,
going to give you a shorter jump.
в данном
Yeah, and
треке,
one of the things they
собственно,
changed in
рекомендуется
99 is they made
заниматься этим
these
циклом прыжков
types of
только
shortcuts
самым
like
опытным игрокам.
trivial for most,
Потому
for
что здесь
most
очень легко.
Pinball.
for
Ой-ой-ой,
most vehicles they were
ой-ой-ой.
trivial, but for Stingray it could still take it. Okay, let's see if I can
Какая же
get
досада.
myself out of this.
Nice, yeah. And that random AI is very brutal. As you saw, he did those jumps perfectly, and the other playable machines did not care.
Yep, and there's enough jump plates on this track. Now, right now, I can't go for it because I only
И
have
на этот раз раннер не
consistent
может,
way
потому
to
что
do
у него
it.
не
Also, the
хватает
purple
скорости,
vehicle could
чтобы
not be this
правильно
far.
сделать весь скип,
Like
поэтому он
that's not
вынужден
even like
третий
Captain
прыжок
Falcon's
не
opposer.
делать.
yeah, that's not
Ой,
a known
какая
vehicle,
досада.
but you'll see that with
Собственно,
the
да,
rubber banding
Ред
as it
Каньон
is,
опять
like purple vehicle
по
is like
классике
really powerful in
вызывает
in master
неприятные
mode.
ощущения
It's a little
у
too close to the
раннеров.
sun. Also, as you progress through the laps in this game, instead of being able to finish
И у него
in
опять не
any
хватает
place
скорости,
like
нужно
any other
опять
racing game,
пропускать.
this game gives you a safe rank, where essentially you
Третий
have to
прыжок.
finish
Увы.
below the safe rank or above the safe rank, so that you don't rank out and restart. So once you reach lap 5, you have to place either third place or better, and if you don't, you have to restart the entire course.
Yep.
So getting past like that is actually really bad.
Так, финал
Could spiral.
истории.
Okay, I missed it.
Miss it, but
Ой,
you still have your S-Track, so it's
прилетел.
fine.
Так тоже
That's one of the
бывает.
good things about missing it is if you.
Ну,
As long as you don't
Ред
explode on
Каньон
the outside,
очень
you can
плохо
use your
получился.
S-Track.
Oh, that was
Прям
barely.
крайне грустный Ред
Tightrope
Каньон.
that.
Yep. Okay. Here's White Land 1. Not really any shortcuts, but good corner taking.
Yeah, there's a nice corner cut you could do with some jump plates toward the end. In
Получаем
99, there was a
стартовое
really
ускорение.
big shortcut that existed for a little bit with the first parts of the jumps, the first set of jump plates right here. But that was never a thing in this game. You don't get enough
Это,
height,
оказывается, тоже достаточно
but
интересно
you
в
can get
вопросе
enough height there and
прыжков.
cut out that little corner.
Yeah, it's really difficult to pull off on lap 1 because I'm still
Не столь
accelerating.
сложный
But from lap 2 and
и
on, it'll be a lot more consistent.
душный, как было в случае Ред Каньона, но
And also the
тоже
optimal way to like
есть
use your S jet on
где
this track
ошибиться,
is just
поэтому
it's like a combination of cutting into a corner like right here.
игра
This is
достаточно
like a
интересна в
really
этом
big
вопросе,
sweeping
что
corner.
с
So
точки
you
зрения
just cut through
спидрана
the
все, что у
third.
тебя есть,
Cut through it,
это
and then you wanna
фундаментальные
S-jet
знания по
into the
игре,
rail and just ride the
которые
rail.
ты должен
Because remember, you don't lose any speed,
максимально
you just lose energy.
хорошо
Yeah, and energy
использовать.
is
Как
plenty
таковых
with this
гличей
vehicle.
в
It's
игре особо-то и
just
нет.
it's like barely as durable as the Wild Goose. So
А вот
and
стартой
also,
оптимизации достаточно просто по
I
своей
don't know your
механике.
actual speed while on the rails, but it's definitely better.
If you S-jet,
А
it should be
почему
fine.
раннер
You should
финиширует
maintain-
вторым?
like the cycle, the speed
Появился
increases
вопрос.
much faster,
Это
but
уже ранее
the
озвучивалось, но я
time it takes
повторю.
for the S-jet to run out
Суть
remains
в
the
том,
same.
Yeah,
что
like if you
So you
по
can't brake tap
завершению
into it.
yeah,
трека
if you were on like
идет
like a normal
анимация
road,
того,
brake tapping's better, but
идет
it
анимация,
depends
так
on the
сказать,
line you
финала
take
гонки.
sometimes just cutting into
Есть в
real
том,
fast
что
sets.
анимация финала гонки за первое место идет гораздо дольше, чем любая
But yeah,
другая.
I'll still finish for
Поэтому во
second
всех
place on this.
гонках, кроме
The
последней
KI
в
can
Гран-при,
show
мы
up in,
занимаем
like,
второе
right here,
место
they could show up
целенаправленно.
on that jump plate. So like I can't even take it sometimes. But right now they've been cooperating pretty well.
Yeah, a good amount of this game is just reacting to what it gives you.
Yep, and also the ice in this track. It is
Нет, все
not
проще.
usually an issue with the last corner.
Второе
Where
место
that, like,
банально
really
имеет
tight,
более короткую
I forget what
анимацию
it's called,
финала
like a
гонки.
hairpin or whatever.
Yeah.
Нас
It is a
важно
very difficult corner to
победить
take
только именно
without
что
losing,
финальный
because you can sometimes just
по
spin out there.
Гран-при.
And right there, the bumper thankfully got out of the way just in time, but
Yeah.
as you saw, it was running using the jump plates.
Okay, this might be a
Oh, they'll
sub
get
2. Yes, it is.
Собственно, вот как выйдет анимация второго места. И через
And now we got Whiteland 2,
пару минут
which
вы увидите, как выглядит
is
анимация
a
первого
pretty
места, и вы
difficult
поймете всю
course, but
разницу,
it's got
почему
one
заканчиваем
really cool
вторым.
thing about it. There's a part in the track where it's separated by 2 jump plates, and what you're normally supposed to do is you take one jump plate and then land further on the track and continue on. It's right at the end. But if you're really good enough, you could take the first jump plate and then manipulate your height so that you land on the second one as well and give you a double bounce.
Yeah, it doesn't sound hard at all.
If you mess
Очень
it up,
сложные
9 times out of
повороты.
10 you will probably explode and have to restart.
Yep, absolutely. On opening lap or any lap, if you're below like 320 kilometers, you really cannot take that jump.
Yeah.
So I have to be extremely careful when I get to that part of the
Опять же,
track
достаточно хитрые
to just
прыжки.
not lose speed. Like it's more important than like going fast, because if you just can't take that jump. It's pretty brutal that they put that in the game like that. And here's the boost point, which is just go through the.
Yep.
Повороты
Here
через
comes the
бустеры.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah. Peer pressure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh god, I actually did it.
Вот. Вот тоже к
Okay, that's all I'm
вопросу
doing.
прыжков
That is such a
профессионалов
hard strat. I
данной
can't
игры.
believe I did it first try.
It's
Данный
optimal to do it all
прыжок
5 times.
механикой
Yeah, we're not
предусмотрен,
doing
но он
it.
настолько
Consistency
сложный,
over
что,
Yeah.
так сказать,
I guess.
Yeah, it's like
это больше
not
напоминает
that much faster. It's
шоу-кейс.
like a third of a second
То
faster, maybe.
не так много игроков
But
в F-Zero
it's
могут
such-
стабильно
it's
его
so precise.
исполнять.
You're just landing on the plate. It doesn't matter if it's on the front half, back half. You're just landing on it.
A third of a second doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to remember with how optimized this game is, that is pretty massive.
Yes.
There are some records, fast lap and 5 lap that are so optimized that there's really only like a frame or two that you can save.
Вторым вы становитесь всегда, потому что у вас, грубо говоря, на самом деле, это вам кажется, что он всех обгоняет, так как на самом деле за ним едет противник, который не очень сильно отстает.
Yeah, this is actually a really good course.
Боты
Really fun, but
ради играет на максимальной сложности, чтобы, так сказать, противники... Всегда было 1-2 противника, которые будут у него на хвосте и очень близки к тому, чтобы
the
обогнать.
jump at the end is basically my first objective is I have to get past that. Like I have to be going at least 320, which usually that's not a problem. But if something shows up on this corner here and I bonk into it and I spin out,
Мы просто не
it's
видим, но
just a
сзади
lot.
едет, собственно, оппонент, который не сильно уступает. У него просто физически прописано, что он не может сильно уступать. Вот анимация первого места, как можете видеть,
Ending animation's gonna play, so we got some time for some
она
donations.
очень долгая.
Oh, and do
Именно
I
поэтому
ever
мы на
have a
протяжении
donation
всего
for
второго
you.
Гран-при
I have
брали второе место.
$1,000 from Ted Bear's dad.
What?
He says it is great to donate to such a worthy cause. I'm proud of my
Чтобы
son,
не
Ted
видеть
Bear
всю
FC, and his
анимацию. Ну, здесь
associates with
уже
this
отчет
great
по всему
event.
Гран-при,
Z-Wing is
поэтому
awesome.
пока
Great
что
run.
эта анимация еще дольше положенного, но это на порядок лучше, чем
Don't know what to say. Shout
во
out to
всех
my
остальных
dad.
случаях. Поэтому
I definitely know that Zin that did it.
все гонки, кроме последней, мы пытаемся заканчивать на втором месте.
Time for another?
Top that 5-bat.
Yep.
All right. We have $25 from Cyberbot X, who says, "Man, this F-Zero run has been fun to watch. Well done, Z-Wing. Put this to getting Batman Arkham City upgraded to hard mode, and we've had some good movement on that. We're about a third of the way there, so keep it rolling."
Awesome.
Yep. So King League is coming up next. So King League is an even bigger step up in difficulty compared to that.
$1,000.
Yeah, a lot more.
Так,
Wow. Thanks,
настало
Dad.
время
You're awesome.
третьего Гран-при.
Love you.
All right.
And here we go. Mute City 3. Mute City is the only one that
Hey, this
has
course looks
variations.
familiar.
Yeah.
Мьюд-Сити
I can't
3.
quite put my finger on it.
Мы уже были в Мьюд-Сити 2 раза.
Think back to,
Почему бы не
you know,
попробовать
Mute
в
City
третий?
2
На
had
этот
this
раз мы
really
еще
cool
раз
change
проверили
with
просто
the-
эту
with the
палетку.
traffic circle and the roundabout
А так
and the different
это
templates.
старая
So
добрая
let's see
карта,
what
которая
Mute City 3
уже
does different than Mute City
третий
1.
Гран-при подряд у нас выступает в качестве
Wow,
первой
looks the same.
трассы.
Oh,
Oh, the straight is narrower.
and there we go.
And mines.
Mines.
Yippee!
For speedrun purposes,
Нет,
it's basically
Нет, это не
identical.
новая калита, это все еще
If you actually look at the
наш
tap times,
старый
I
добрый
believe
фаерстрингер.
that Mute City 3 is only 0.03 of a second shorter than Mute City 1, so it's basically
Огненная
the exact same, but taking place at night.
огненный струнер,
This is the only
огненная
break I
струна.
get in King League. Oh crap. Okay, I don't even get a break there.
Очень... Я не знаю, как правильно перевести слово
Yeah,
стрингер.
after this course, like the next, I'd say 3 out of the next 4 tracks are just awful. Like, I wouldn't say awful.
да,
it's just
продолжаем
the way the AI is
проходить
and where
Мьюд-Сити
vehicles can show up.
без 5
It's
минут с
strictly
закрытыми глазами
me
по стандартным
fighting to get
методикам.
through them
В отличие от
and
второго, у нас тут, правда,
just,
нету
like a war zone, basically.
панели для прыжка.
So,
Ну, в принципе, просто повторяем то, что мы
and the strat for this is
смотрели
basically the
и
same as
в
Mute
первом.
City 1. You
Yeah,
just-
if you
Самом
want to
Гран-при.
boost here through the dirt, you want to use your S-jet on what would be the slowest part of the track. So anything like dirt or a straightway, anything you could realistically cut through. It's interesting because normally if you're doing a 5 lap or a
Собственно,
fast
конец
lap,
рана будет
if
в
you mess up,
течение
you would just
15
reset.
минут.
Because you can't do that in a full course run,
Поэтому
kind of just have to roll with whatever
любуемся
happens.
тем,
So
как
if
мы
someone uses his S-Jet and then gets
просто
bumped and he can't get
доминируем
his
над
speed
теми,
back up, he
кто,
has to
так
live
сказать,
with it.
выбрал неправильный
Yeah,
автомобиль для
that's
гонок.
not really good because on this track, like it takes a very long time to catch up.
Yep. And if you get hit before the boost point on some courses, it's fine. You could use your S-Jet there and it won't be too much of a time loss, but there are some courses that you just have to hold on to your S-Jet and hope you can get there in time.
Yeah, you can kind of divide every course up into like 3 zones. You know, the prior to the boost point.
You're fine.
Yeah, prior to the boost point, it's like a safe zone. You can always recover. After the boost point, though, you're on your own. Like you have to deal with the fact that you have no boost.
То есть он рассказывает то, что раннеры обычно делят треки на 3 зоны, чтобы распределить правильно нагрузку по своим бустерам, которые все еще называются S-джеты или G-сеты. В одной из частей F0 называется не S-джеты, в другой G-сеты, поэтому извините, если я путаюсь. В этой не называется G-сеты, все.
So yeah, you go really fast, but you have no like.
Это очень смешной трек, который, наверное, единственный, который не очень предназначен для нашего автомобиля, в связи с тем, что здесь очень много смешных поворотов на маленьком месте, где особо не повернешь. Но мы просто разгоняем такую скорость, что мы это игнорируем почти что полностью. Сказал я и ранее провел почти что идеальный цикл по тонким поворотам. Ну и просто напрямую в этом автомобиле нету равных. Разгоняем первую астрономическую.
So I actually changed my boost strategy on here to account for that because it's very likely to happen. There's also a chance that like a vehicle will show up. So, and also I didn't want to brake, you know, because you can get like a decent time on here by braking, but you know, we're trying to show you what makes this vehicle completely busted. And yeah, in this course in particular, it turns we'll say a hampering mechanic of just like you can't take this go fast.
That was a good dodge.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Тонкий поворот, удачное уклонение от ненужных нам столкновений. И берем прямой разгон по прямой линии. Вроде бы это тоже та гонка, где противники едут настолько медленно, что быстрее будет гонку закончить, чем ждать попытки занять второе место, но тут надо будет проверить. Собственно, встречаются иногда такие треки, но да, это один из них. Здесь мы настолько быстрее, что второго места ждать нету никакого смысла. Мы дольше будем ждать, чем смотреть на анимацию первого места. Тормозим, получаем стартовый буст и поехали на перегонки.
So, and especially because the AI gets a lot more vicious, it can be very hard to deal with, especially because for the back half of the course, you're not going to have your S-Jet.
Главная проблема данного трека — это вот эта вот кишка. Сейчас одних только поворотах мы теряем порядка 30 км в час, которые наша машина не очень охотно обратно набирает. И мы делаем скип. Эти прыжки.
Instead of just, going down to a slow down, it just bounce all around.
And then right here, since my speed's really low, so I'm going to have to use an adjusted strat.
Но вопрос с F3 это что? Дело в том, что F0 работает по принципу, что каждый круг у тебя отсеивается количество гонщиков, выступающих на треке. Сейф указывает, какое место допустимо занять к концу этого круга, чтобы ты мог продолжить загонять на следующем. То есть, когда ты заканчиваешь круг, определенное количество гонщиков на последних местах, они просто отваливаются.
I should be fine now. I'll get back up to full speed and we'll try one more time. When I landed over there, I didn't like hop. I'm also like aiming a little too more to the right because when like the angle isn't tight because I'm under.
Вообще,
Wait, how am I
господа,
second place?
F-Zero хорошая вещь, настоятельно
I
рекомендую.
didn't even notice.
Если у вас
Almost ahead of
есть
I guess.
Wow,
одна
I didn't even notice.
смешная портативная консоль от Nintendo,
Blue
то
Falcon.
Yeah.
Okay.
там
Unfortunately,
существует
we
онлайн-версия
took
под названием
Why
F-Zero
not? I mean,
99.
there's still one more lap to go.
Hey, thank you, Fox.
Так
Okay,
сказать,
that was
н-
unusual.
на
I mean,
правах
that can happen on this
псевдорекламы.
track. Like right there, my rank flipped. Okay,
Рекомендую.
that's good.
Yeah, because essentially when you land on the other side while you're grabbed by the UFO, it still counts you from your
Слегка
original
притормаживает,
position on
чтобы
the jump
случайно
lane.
не
So
улететь за
we
экран во
saw he was
время
ranked
данного
second still,
прыжка.
but was way ahead of.
И,
He was
собственно,
way ahead of second place. A
продолжаем
little bit until the
просто
rubber band right behind you.
ехать к финишу.
Okay, crazy. That's actually
Should
fine.
be fine.
Yeah.
Second,
Oh, not third.
third. It's okay. You'll get it.
The first third of the run.
К сожалению, мы потеряли слишком много
Thankfully,
скорости,
Goose was
настолько
a
много, что
little
мы ожидали
slow
не
on
то,
the
что
draw.
то второе,
So
мы
Red
заняли
Canyon 2
третье
is a
место.
nice break from that.
Yeah,
Red
so we went
Canyon.
from
Наш
one of the
лучший
hardest
друг.
courses in the game to one of the other hardest courses
Как
in the
говорится,
game
таких
to
друзей я не
honestly
буду
one of the easiest
продолжать.
courses in the game. It's a really nice breather,
Та
especially
самая
for what lies ahead on the final track.
трек, который в прошлый раз
Yeah.
очень
Unfortunately, you're
сильно
not gonna get the
затроллил
bump.
раннера.
So,
Yeah, this
Будем
course,
надеяться, что он
despite it
сможет
being King League, is like
во всех
actually pretty easy.
кругах показать хороший
The
цикл
got the
прыжков.
jumps again, but you're not going to go to the right. That's closed off. Instead,
Nah.
you're going to continue on down, and there's going to be this giant arrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna needlessly jump on the right side of that arrow. Well, it's not really needless. It's actually more optimal. But you can see that you
Мы,
don't have
собственно,
as much
слегка пошли перейти по другому
real
пути,
estate to
потому
land on the
что,
right side. Effectively, what I'm doing
так
is
сказать,
when I'm done with these
обстоятельства
jump
так
plates up
сложились,
here,
что
I'm
мы не
lining up for
можем
that
попрыгать по
corner
тому же
right
варианту,
before the
как
end.
мы это делали в первый
So it's
раз.
like one of the longest stretches in the game where you just line up. You know, it's just a small racing line. Like right there, it's just one single turn to the right. And
And hit it. Yep.
yep. I mean, I've
Very tight, as you can see. I mean, if he lands like 2 pixels in front of where he landed,
Прыжки на этом
there's a
треке
chance that
все
he just
очень,
explodes.
так
Yeah,
сказать,
and
на
the boost
грани.
point on there,
Тут
once
очень
again, I
легко
adjust a little
улететь
bit based on, my
за трека и
experience
по
with
итогу
speedrunning
остаться
this
с носом.
Going optimal, you know, it is faster, but the danger of doing it on this course is that you're effectively boosting into a place where you have no information on how the AI is going to be positioned. So once you boot, like right here, if I would have boosted at the actual ideal point, there was always a chance I could have slammed into that vehicle. So by delaying until I like see what's in front of me, you know, I can make a more well-informed decision. And it's not even that much like more optimal. We're talking like frames, like, you know, less than a tenth of a second per lap, which, you
На
know,
треке
obviously
осталось
over the
всего
course of
5
5
гонщиков.
laps, 4 laps, that does add up. But for a full game speed run, you know, it's negligible. Oh, this gonna be close.
Ну, точнее, останется.
And right here, no, I'm gonna, no. That's okay.
You got a very forgiving bump there.
Very forgiving. Yep, and this would be the last course that I finished second
Ну и
place
финальный
in,
круг.
because the next is the finale, which is Firefield, and I'm sure everybody knows how bad Firefield is
Oh,
from their
yeah.
experience. It's very tough. So we go from one of the easier courses to definitely one of the most brutal.
If you were a kid playing this game, and especially not using the Fire Stingray, and if you didn't get stuck on Deathwind 2, you definitely got stuck on Firefield.
Yeah.
It's just a brutal course.
Собственно, ранее объясняет, что
Trying to give them the
если вы играли в эту игру ребенком, и вы не обузили, так сказать,
So this is
данный
also the
автомобиль,
longest course in the game,
то
and it's got the more
вот эти
complex,
два
most
трека,
complex
предпоследний и
strategies.
последний, это,
It's also like the
наверное,
Rainbow
были
Road
та причина,
of
которая
F-Zero.
мне
I believe
давала
it's the
выигрывать.
only, course/venue that's
Firefield,
given every
последний
F-Zero
трек
game.
в этой игре. После него будет объявлен
Yep, so
таймер,
immediately at the
поэтому
beginning
на
there's
этот
gonna
раз
be
мы
mines, there's
воюем
gonna
за
be a
первое
tight
место.
hairpin into another
Никакой
tight
другой нас
one.
более не устраивает.
There's going to be some dirt patches, there's going to be magnets.
Yep.
It's very brutal, and unlike the other courses in the game where the recharge zone, right, the energy refill zone is at the beginning of the track, in Firefield it's at the end.
Yep.
So it's a whole gauntlet to get through, and then it also gives you just a very minuscule amount compared to the rest.
Yeah,
Собственно,
the wall things are
Firefield содержит в себе
intentional.
абсолютно
This course is too-
все элементы треков,
it's
которые
too
вы могли
hard to
видеть
corner
ранее по
with
рану.
Stingray. It's actually impossible to take these corners without losing speed. So the best
И
strategy is just to slam
проверяет
into the wall
молодого
and
игрока на то,
preserve some
насколько хорошо
speed.
научился играть
And
в
one
эту
of those
игру.
walls we actually will boost out of.
И пикнул ли он правильную
Then also
машину.
there's this second lane that shows you like a really good boost. You take that. Oh, that's going to hit. No, it's not.
No.
Okay, that was very unfair.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 when you see an AI bumper car on that line. It's a 50-50 if they're just going to bounce against the wall and collide
Очень
with the minor.
хитрые отскоки от стен.
Thankfully, it didn't there.
So from here, I'm going to set up for the S-boost point,
Ибо
which is
так,
just slamming into the wall.
именно в данном повороте,
And as long as I don't hit
получается быстрее, чем просто
Ooh,
затормозить и
somehow we
повернуть.
swing those.
Ибо
And
теряется
now I'm
гораздо
back up
меньше
to a safe
скорости.
position. You know, top three is safe because you have to
А
finish
сохранить
third
скорость
for
это
it
все
to
просто туда на
count as a
спидран, потому
victory.
что мы играем на машину с
Yeah,
очень
third
плохой
better.
акселерацией.
And usually it's going Foxen first. I mean,
Yep, and there we
most.
go. Back in the front. No bumper by the mine this time, which is really good.
Okay, that's good. And hopefully I can take
Wall
this
bang
corner.
here. Yep.
That's an actual successful wall bang.
That was a very good
Третий
one.
круг мы забираем первое
And then
место.
from here it's just reaction. Like here, I'm
Осталось теперь просто его
that's
сохранить,
not a lot of space to
прийти к
clear.
финишу как можно
Yeah, that was
быстрее и объявить о
but once
таймере.
dangerous.
Yeah, but once I'm in first place, like there is a lot more consistency, a lot more control.
You control your own destiny when you're in first, basically.
Yep.
Because the only thing that's going to be in front of you is whatever the game spawns. It's not going to be the other playable machines or whatever.
Yep.
Ooh, good dodge there.
Yep. So I'll do that outside track
Два
one more
круга.
time. Oh no, he shouldn't do it. Oh, I gotta take.
Oh,
Okay, that's.
nice.
I don't see that off often actually.
Yeah, that was.
Кто-то подорвался
some
на
rare-
мини.
Yeah.
Мы это проигнорируем,
Okay.
поедем
And
дальше.
then once I do this lap,
Своих
the
забот
final lap,
хватает.
I'll actually take the inside line, and
Yeah, there's not really many crazy, it's not like Whiteland 2 or Silence with the chicane turn. Firefield is just good skill.
yeah, it's crazy hard. It's a struggle to get through. Like no matter who you are, this is going to be your hardest. This will be your hardest course. Okay, and here's the
Here we
final
go,
lap.
final lap.
So I'll
Последний
do a
круг.
small countdown when I'm about at the finish line.
About 35 seconds remain.
Yep. And I'm going to take the inner point this time, and hopefully I can do it right. There we go. Yeah, I'd say this is probably like a 322 maybe or something.
В последнем кругу допускается только 3 гонщика.
Well, I think I hit that vehicle. Oh, crap.
You're low on.
Ну, то есть мы как минимум уже на третьем месте.
That's what I feared.
When you power down, you actually lose top speed when you're flashing like that, which I
Yeah.
didn't think I'd ever have to explain, but
А
Yeah.
у нас происходит пауэрдаун, это означает, что мы
Time.
we still got first.
лишаемся максимальной скорости. Ну, это, в принципе, нас не особо волнует, потому что мы закончили только что ран. Время 41:31.
Your time was 41:31.
Ваш покорный слуга сейчас скажет, что это результат эквивалентный пятому месту.
That was good. Good job, by the way.
Good job, man. Hey, you get all the props. You're the one actually playing. God knows I would not be able to do this.
Oh, it's tough.
It's very difficult.
Чешечки раннера
he
полной
made it seem easy.
безопасности.
He is the third best player
Лапа.
on this game's leaderboard, not only in speedrun.com, but for F-Zero Central, where we keep track of all the time attacks.
I think I'm fifth on the board, or fourth maybe.
You're 3 to 5 on F-Zero Central on the time attack ladder. He's third. In contrast, I'm 27th, or tied for 27th, and he did a lot of stuff that I would not be able to do, especially in a full game run. So, everyone, give some claps for Z-Wing again.
Thank you.
We're just gonna let this play out.
Yeah.
The race is over.
Yeah, this is your reward for playing the game on the hardest
Ну и
difficulty.
финальная
You are the
касцена.
master of F-Zero.
Thank you.
Гонка
Well, you're welcome.
окончена. Вы мастер F-Zero. И дальше.
Oh man, we got left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, we did. All right, well, thanks everybody for
И
allowing me
дальше
to
ничего.
do this at GDQ.
Клиффхенгер.
It's been like, I believe 10 years since I last did a run. So I'm very appreciative of being allowed, being back to do this. This is a great motivator for me in speedrunning. Thanks to F-Zero Central, for being some great runners. I think I got a few on the couch right now. Actually,
Yep.
I definitely got a few over there. So thanks for showing up for the run and supporting me. And thanks for the marathon and what you're raising.